Alrighty, we have a universal dimmer switch, and you have to mount it facing up. See the arrow pointing up? When you wire these, you have to have one regular switch, and then the dimmer could be the second switch, or vice versa. The dimmer could be the first one, and the other one has to be a regular three-way switch. You have a darker common terminal, and two other terminals are like this lighter brass one here, and you have your green ground wire. So I'll show you how to install this. Okay, we have two white wires here. The white is coming from the, we're going to be using the red and black as travelers. The white from the source, or the white going to the light, will go to the white one in the three-way wire, the red, black, and white. So we'll tie those together. And you can either use a wire nut, or we can use a Wago, and we're going to use a Wago. So you slide the wire into the Wago, make sure the insulation goes up into the plastic, close it, take our other one, make sure the white goes up into the plastic, close it. I look down inside, make sure our white wire is in. Okay, this one is just barely in, so we can lift the lever, we can take it up. We'll just clip it slightly shorter here. And we'll put it into our Wago like that, push it down. Now one thing I want to show you with the Wagos, you can't just push them in like a stab block on an outlet. You open the lever. You push the wire in all the way, snap the lever up. Push the wire in all the way, snap the lever up. So there's our white wires. Now we can fold these back into our box. Okay, so now we have our black from our 14-2. And we have our ground wires. Okay, we'll clip our ground wires so they're even here. And we'll strip our red and black. Strip them with a hole that matches the gauge wire we're using. So we'll open up our two traveler screws here and our common screws, make sure they're open all the way. So we will take our black one from our 2-wire cable here, which is 14-2 or 12-2. We'll make our loop the direction our screw turns. I'm going to make this one a little bit longer because I'll show you why. I'll strip this one a little longer too. Okay, the black one, it's either coming from the power or it's going to the light. It's the 2-wire cable, 14-2 or could be 12-2. And we're going to make our loop the direction our screw turns. And we will put it on our common screw, which is the darker colored screw. We'll close our loop the direction our screw turns here. And you'll notice there's like a little notch where the wire sets down in, so I stripped it a little bit longer so it goes down into the notch and sets down into that little notch. So I'll show you that at the very end. And we'll just make sure it's nice and tight. Now our two traveler wires, doesn't make a difference which screw we put that on. Close your loop the direction your screw turns. But we do have that little nub we have to get our wire to sit in. We make sure we get our copper under the screw head all the way. Make sure it's nice and tight. There's a little plastic nub that sticks up here for your guide to keep the wire around the screw. I'll show you that after we're done hooking this up. And we'll bring and put our red wire under our other traveler terminal. It doesn't matter which one the red or the black goes to because they're both the travelers. Power goes in the common and out the common. And you can either use a wire nut or a Wago or an Ideal connector with the levers like this. And you just put all your wires in, you push it in, make sure the copper comes up to the top, snap the lever back, push it in, snap it back, make sure the lever's down all the way, and we'll put our ground one in from the device. Make sure our wire is up at the top. Now it's not as critical to get the insulation into the plastic on this because it's just a ground. So now I'll bring the camera up close and I will show you the connections. You can see the little plastic nub that comes up between the ends of the wire there. And I'll bring it down so you can see the wires on the terminals. Again, you see the little nub that comes up between the two ends of the wire. Okay, now we can screw our device into the wall here. Okay, we'll put our ground wires back into our box. Get them back in here out of our way. Get it back. It's a nice deep box. Just fold our reds and blacks in like this. Make sure it all kind of goes in like an accordion here. And we'll just tighten it with a screwdriver here by hand so we don't strip our hole out. Okay, now we have a sensitivity switch here for the dimming. And make sure this little arrow is pointing up where it says up. And we'll just put our cover on here. Okay, so this is the dimmer here, and this is the on and off. So here in the country I was born in, we use 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps, 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare, the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a 110, 120 volt switch loop or in a 220, 240 volt appliance where the appliance does not require a ground. Peace. Thanks for watching.